So, according to an article from Pew Research Center, 73% of U.S. adults have experienced some kind of online scam or attack. So, my name is Jack Schengenberger. I'm a student at Akron University, majoring in computer information systems, focusing on networking. And there are many ways to protect yourself from scam media such as calls, texts, and emails, as well as other forms of scams such as viruses or threats to your device. So you can do this mostly by identifying what could be a scam. If something doesn't look right, it probably isn't. You can protect yourself from a lot of scams using consumer applications such as RoboKiller, system settings, LifeLock, other things like that, and knowing what to do after you get scammed. Because no protection is 100%. So, according to an article by the Federal Trade Commission, there are 4 telltale signs to identify a scam. There's people pretending to be a common organization they're not, people pretending to be government or offerings of a problem or prize, create a sense of urgency, and require payment in a specific way. If they're pretending to be somebody they're not, they could be saying they're government organizations. They could be saying they're a corporation such as Amazon, your school, your corporate, like your business. And a lot of the time, they're saying something that's going to happen that isn't in the process of creating a problem or prize. Saying, oh, you just won all this money on Amazon, send us your credit card information so we can send it over. Or saying, oh, you've been committing tax evasion for 40 years. Send me money, or we're going to arrest you. Something like along those lines. And a lot of the time, you'll know it doesn't sound right. A recent one was through the BMV, where they sent out texts saying, oh, if you've been on the turnpike, you need to pay us. And a lot of the time, different groups within the thing didn't line up saying you were on a Michigan turnpike and it's the Ohio BMV asking you, etc. And through this process, they create a sense of urgency. For example, in the Amazon example I used, they say, if you don't pay this in 24 hours, we're going to take all this money away from you. Or in the BMV scam, they said, if you don't pay this in 24 hours, we're going to suspend your driving privileges. And in that payment that they're requesting within a set amount of time, it's usually in a specific way as well, such as gift cards, crypto, cash through the mail, something that doesn't feel right. They're not accepting you legitimate credit card forms or legitimate payment forms such as credit card or PayPal. And there are more telltale signs, of course. The best way to protect yourself is to trust your gut. Knowing something isn't right and knowing there are resources to help with that. Some of these resources are applications. These applications could be things like LifeLock, RoboKiller, system settings. Or a consumer group known for helping people, listed that they had Aura as their number one group. It's consumers group. I'm sorry. Aura as their number one protection group. They had a lot of common features such as quick warnings, large insurance policies, relatively low price, credit monitoring and credit lock, and some other popular features were scam media filtering and antivirus or malware filtering, such as your antiviruses, which come on a lot of PCs. I use McAfee, for example. I know several people use other things. Windows Defender is one. Or scam media filtering, such as RoboKiller, which will essentially go onto your phone and say, this call doesn't seem right, and prevent it from going through. There are ways to do that through system settings, but that can be really difficult. And while there are protections in place, they aren't perfect. There's always going to be that scam that gets through. And that's why you need to know what happens after. A lot of the time you'll notice it because you notice sketchy charges on your credit card. And that's the first place you should start. You should call your bank, your credit union, and tell them, something isn't right, I need you to fix this. If your SSN was leaked, you might need to call the Social Security office and say that it needs to be monitored or frozen so that when new credit cards can't be opened, debit cards can't be opened, and to freeze your credit. If passwords were leaked, change those passwords and maybe look at setting up two-factor authentication. If banking information was compromised, immediately call your bank. If you sent money some other way, call the group that would be responsible for that, such as Amazon or your other group, PayPal, whatever, and let them know. The FTC recently set up a scam line to make sure that people who are getting scammed can submit this information and allow new people to be trained properly on that scam, such as that BMV scam. You could submit a tip and they'd be protected. It would be used to teach more people about how to protect themselves. It's important to remember that it isn't your fault if you get scammed. Somebody was trying to get your money, and they succeeded. They might have used a lot of illegitimate sources, and a lot of the time they try to prevent you from talking to your family. So remember, if something doesn't feel right, it probably isn't. There are resources to help you, and when you do get scammed, the number one focus is to protect your assets. Scam media is a disgustingly prevalent problem, and if we all work together, we can stop that. By working to inform everyone on how to protect themselves, we prevent people from falling for a scam and starve those scammers for money. Thank you, and good day.